And I hope this won't sound too boring, but I tried to translate the poem. So this is sort of half Welsh, half English sort of sounding. So the title of the poem in English would be Why Are Sandwiches Feminine? And Other Interesting Questions. So, the llinell, not the linell. The llong, the llinyn, the lliw, the llwyn. Sal O'Malley's counting sandwiches, 1, 2, 3, 4, because sandwiches are feminine, aren't they? But why are sandwiches feminine? And how to know when to mutate and when not to? Meddal, trwyno, llais, cysefin. I have a table in the back of my dictionary, but it may as well be about quantum mechanics on the planet Sowena. And what about the acyn grom and other decorative symbols? They look very nice on the page and add a je ne sais quoi to people's names, I must admit. Sean, Shan, Llyd and Andrea. But I can't for the life of me remember the rules, and they're a nuisance to type as well. Complicated codes like some nightmarish semaphore is enough to keep people from blogging. And how to write the date even, av, ved, is, ed, and why are some things in date 3 while others are tair ar ddeg? I'm a stranger to the language of my heart, in every correct sense anyway. And yet there's a beauty which lies within the complexity of the old tribal language shrouded in mystery, with its pretty idioms and poetic phrases steeped in a history which continually amazes, morphological traditions which contemporaries respect, and the richness derived from each dialect. Vivaciousness of spirit when Cymraeg is spoken, so proud are we that it's not been forsaken. And thus I am willing to study diacritics for the honour to write with their added aesthetics. I'll embrace now the teg, tecach and teched, the dryd, drutach, drutav and druted. It's a pleasure to learn how to correct my gwallau, to learn the correct way to count the brachdanau. And this is a poem called Llygaid, which means eyes, and it's a particularly bitter little poem about having heartbroken. So, Tallai oer o ar cas, crisialau creulon llygaid glas, caledyn gloi guddio hen bwyd, daw ias oer dros fy mhrwyn. Cywilydd i mi fod mor ffôl, disgwyl i ti ddod yn dy ôl, mor anwyl oedd it ar yr adeg, ond gwenwyneg yr wyt ti ychwaneg. Wrth y modd anghalon yn canu, ond mae'r teimladau wedi diflannu. Wedi mynd y dealltwriaeth, cyd yn dan deimlad wedi symud ymaith. Dy edmygedd i mi wedi suddo, a rwy'n mi rwy ti yn fy rhybuddio. Paid a siarad amdanau nag i mi, peth bach gwirion y rwy ti. Fy siarsio nad wyt yn fy ngharu, a dy fod wedi alaru. Allan yn ddyfnder ar gwyfel hynach, mae'n byd gwahanol a rheolau cymleth. Ond deall dyled wedi gwneud, merch ifanc wedi cyffroi gan ddweud, wrth ffrind dwi ddim yn siŵr med fi, beth oedd yn digwydd rhwng y ti a fi. Teimlad ofnadwy o cael fy mradu, cywilydd am y cysylltiad sy'n gwadu, patrwm poenus a ddylynais, dros sawl un fel ti y wylais. Ond hen yw'r hanes erbyn hyn, gwella mae fy mywyd cryn. Ddysgais y wers yn ddigon plaen, fod rhai fel tithau ddim gwerth y straen. Cadwaf draw o'r rhai fel chdithau, sglein caled ar fy llygaid unau, ac os welai eto o'r llygaid glas, fydd llygaid unau'n oer a chas.
The first piece I'm going to read is called Playground Warfare. Red dirt footprints tell this story. Follow them into battle. Follow them to their graves for being brave little soldiers. It's hard to hear these silent knights cry. Invisible pawns, serving a king in a game they are too young to understand. The only shooting stars they wish upon are warlords, whose bullets light up the night sky. How are these boys supposed to become men? All snakes, no ladders. Thrown in at the deep end with lions and wolves, these cubs don't stand a chance. This is a whole new Jungle Book, one with so many birds with clipped wings, too many saplings cut down before their time, an army of children letting clips ring, deprived of the bare necessities. This second one's a little bit more personal, but I'm not going to explain it. This one's called Quiver. They all remind me, with their hair like smoke caressing the top of their scalp, barely tangible. They all remind me with their bloodshot eyes straining to see the tips of their fingers, barely visible. They all remind me with their incredible stories, a blend of memory and dementia, barely believable. They all remind me with their breakfast accompanied by 20 different pills, barely alive. They all remind me, each with their own affliction which gets better parking sun, barely compensates. They all tremble and shiver, just sitting there shaking, they remind me. The last one is a little bit of play on a sonnet. I've changed the format and everything, it's quite confusing. This one's called Sea. Everywhere around me, I see it dig its filthy teeth deep, taking a hold of so many souls, direct or not, walking hand in hand with life, tainting purity with its dark essence. Life's incandescence underhand, hidden in the palm of death's minion. But death cannot see the path of life. Stop. The path does not stop. Not for this soldier. He marches on, strong, one step at a time, forward. Forward he marches, grip loosening, hand rid of evil. It's gone. Live on.
I'm going to read a couple of poems, and then Mark's going to carry on, and then we're going to have a break, and then we'll continue afterwards. The first poem I'm going to read this evening is something I've just recently written, and it's called Feeling Peaceful. Leaves that rustle in the autumn breeze, the midday sun peeks through the trees. The squelch of mud from rain before covers my Wellingtons. Birds glide through the sky and tweet among the trees. Peace and harmony warms my heart of the natural beauty which surrounds me as I walk through Mother Nature's garden. That's a piece I wrote, so I just felt peaceful one morning, walking down into Llanelli. Another piece is about dieting, which a lot of us will know about. Today is the day I say no to chocolate, crisps and cream, to start my diet, which will mainly be the colour green. My diets come and go. Which one is best? I do not know. Today I say goodbye to my favourite walnut whips. As we all know, we eat too many of them, and it's a lifetime on the hips. How long my diet will last, I really don't know. On dieting, I'm not a pro. But I'll do my best and try to break my record. All the best of luck from myself.
Am beidio darllen yn Gymraeg, that's hynna rhywbeth am y dyfodol darllen. I'd just like to read 4 short poems before the break. This poem is called Weasel Words, and it's about the importance of keeping a critical distance to other people's words. Weasel words. Some words shimmer, shine, then flutter away at your tread. Theirs is a short season and it is all sun. Other words draw you down a full fathom and each promise of cold clarity when you're high and dry. High and dry and sublime perhaps, sweated weary, with clapped out knees and a paltry hunger gnawing. The words come then, not one by one, weasel words by the sneak, flipping themselves in the air, darting so they beguile with sinuous caperings. Other times they scurry too, unbidden, in judgment, when it were enough to sink back blankly and be. But no, how shallow it is to be lulled by this glib refrain framed in harp string, these tea lights. Thank you. This poem is called The Age of Steam, and I want to read this just to show that I have my finger on the pulse, really. The Age of Steam. At last we have the age of steam to push us on with feats of strength, pull us tirelessly to seaside piers. At last we have the spinning mule blending warp and weft like a titan, clothing all with neater seams. At last we have enclosure that sees nothing unharvested and spares shepherds their fruitless wanderings. At last we have a kind workhouse tending the redundant under one roof and shading them from the modern sun. At last we have a clean cremation to save our graves for coffined wealth and burned consumptive rags to smoke. Thank you. Somewhere there lies a wild sea whose waters seethe and surge unendingly, thwarting keel and compass alike. Nets mildew and shelter crabs before the quay. No one comes to pay the harbour master's fee, his doors rotten without a lock. Dead-eyed, the cartographers resign to fill his charts with countries of the mind where basilisks lurk. But a lighthouse crowns the headland heights, and therein, lit subtly, a room where books and thoughts sing as larks sing and fly as lightly fluttering as kites, a room for me, somewhere by this wild sea whose waters seethe and surge unendingly. Thank you. And finally, this is a poem because we're in a pub and it's called After a Party. Drinkers depart unsteady, dregs smell stale already and draw flies. Perfume is dispelled by a draught where we sat and drank and laughed into the wee hours caught up in the magic of smoke and beer a party might easily stoke up in fuel. But our revels now are ended and a stillness has descended on the room like a chill a swimmer feels when cold currents spur his heels shoreward. Thank you. Enjoy.